surpassed, penetrating and perfect Dharma is rarely met with, even in 100,000 million kalpas. Having it to see and listen to remember and accept, I vow to taste the truth of the Tathagata's words.
So can you hear me? On screen? Okay, good. Just gonna move this over here so that. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh. Put it back together. I'll put it back later. Anyway. So I'm putting myself over here because I'm going to show some things on the screen. So you might want to move to an area that you can see and hear.
And you're going to project.
I'm going to project as much as I can.
So that really is an invitation, right? If people can't see, to move over.
Yes, right.
And you could move your chairs in if you needed to.
Just anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cozy. Be cozy.
Cozy.
It's cozy.
She's already done the tango. She's totally delighted with herself.
Are you looking for me? I am in the next seat. My shoulder is against yours. You will not find me in the stupas, nor in Indian shrine rooms, nor in synagogues, nor in cathedrals, not in masses, nor in kirtans, not in legs winding around your own neck, nor in eating nothing but vegetables. When you really look for me, you will see me instantly. You will find me in the tiniest house of time. Kabir says, "Student, tell me, what is God?" She is the breath inside the breath. Of course, Kabir, the person who wrote this, was a 15th century Hindu poet and had a pantheon of gods in his religion. In the poem, I think you can probably substitute the word God for literally anything. Buddha, Bodhisattva, truth, being alive, simply being awake. Point is, what we are looking for is available right now, right in front of us, right inside us, in our next breath. I love the part when he says, "Are you looking for me? I'm in the next seat. My shoulder is against yours." It so speaks of presence and intimacy, mine and yours. Look around at all of us. We are together in this activity of seeking. And not only that, we are finding it mirrored in each other. So today's chapter is about Bodhisattva never disparaging. He's also known as Bodhisattva never despise and Bodhisattva never disrespectful. I think Bodhisattva never disparaging would agree with Kabir that what we are looking for is not located in any one place, in any one action, but in the people who are around us. Bodhisattva, never disparaging, saw Buddha in every person, and he wanted to tell them what he was seeing and remind them of who they were. So his story is very well told by two folksy monks at Tassajara who wrote a ballad about this bodhisattva and can tell Bodhisattva's story way better than me. So you have the lyrics, and it's on both sides, and the one that says our hero is the side that you want to start on.
So I shared that too.
Yeah, for the people on the screen. Okay, great. So, are you ready?
And we're going to sing along?
Yep, oh, yes.
Are we singing the dark parts or the light parts or all of them?
I think probably just the dark part,
Chorus.
and then you can hear you can listen to the, you can hear too, what? You can listen to the stanzas, because it's kind of, they go kind of fast, but we can all sing the chorus, because once you hear it one time, you'll get the song and everything, so it's very.
And can I interject that Ben Guston is Morgan's
Yes.
son? Our very own Morgan?
Yes, yes.
And Morgan is here tonight.
That's right.
He's the best thing.
What'd she say? I didn't hear it. Oh.
Best thing made.
Can't quite hear you.
Oh, I know what. But if we change the sound, we'll.
Oh, we can't change the sound or we're going to mess
Well,
ourselves
yeah,
up.
but we'll just change it back. Why not? Because I can't figure out how to do it.
All right.
Okay, all right, so we're ready?
Okay.
Okay, let's go. See how it goes here.
We're in the mountains and we're making music, so it must be mountain music. There's a book called the Lotus Sutra you really ought to know about. A holy book that has the power to remove all fear and doubt. And this book tells the story of a man who means the world to me, who could just as well have been a woman if not for male hegemony. They call him the Bodhisattva, never disparage, or the Bodhisattva, never despise. And I'm making it my life's ambition to see the world through his pure eyes. And he says, I would never disparage you or keep you at arm's length. But you only see your weaknesses, I only see your strength. I would never despise you or put you down in any way, because it's clear to me, I can plainly see you'll be a Buddha someday. I love you. Now Bodhisattva, never disparaging, lived countless in the past, in a time of the counterfeit Dharma, and he was something of an outcast, because the monks and nuns of his time were noted for their arrogance and vanity. And these were the folks who exercised great power and authority. But my boy never concerned himself if they treated him like a freak. He just bowed to everybody equally, and these are the words he'd speak. I would never disparage you or keep you at arm's length. When you only see your weaknesses, I only see your strength. I would never despise you or put you down in any way, because it's clear to me, I can plainly see you'll be a Buddha someday. I love you. He never read or recited the scriptures much, he only liked to practice respect. But the and nuns of his time didn't need it like you might expect. Instead they cursed him and reviled him, and they wished that he would go, because they all had self-esteem issues like most everyone else I know. They beat him and pelted him with clubs and stones, and they tried to drive him away, but he'd just run off to a safe distance, and then he'd turn around and say, I would never discourage you or keep you at arm's length. When you only see your weaknesses, I only see your strength. I would never despise you or put you down in any way, because it's clear to me, I can plainly see you'll be a Buddha someday. I love you. And so it went on for years and years. He was the target of scorn and abuse. Yet still our hero shed no tears, nor did he ever wonder what's the use, until he reached the end of his natural lifespan, and he laid down fixing to die. And then he heard the Holy Lotus Sutra being preached up in the sky, and his life was extended for millions of years, and he's living to this day. And in the pages of the Lotus Sutra, you still can hear him say, I would never discourage you or keep you at arm's length. For you only see your weaknesses, I only see your strength. I would never despise you or put you down in any way, because it's clear to me, I can plainly see you'll be a Buddha someday. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Pretty cool.
Sweet.
Thank you, Morgan.
My joy to share men with you.
So, now you know.
Yeah.
The story of Bodhisattva, never disparaging. I especially like the part of the song. Well, I like a lot of parts of the song. But the part that I was thinking of was when he says, Bodhisattva, never disparaging, could be a woman.
Yeah.
We're still working on that. The part where they talk about how he didn't read, write, recite, or teach the scriptures, which is one of the things that the Lotus Sutra admonishes us to do, really resonates with the poem I think I opened with. You will not find me in temples or shrines with legs winding around your own neck or in eating nothing but vegetables. It seems to me that we find what we are looking for in the present moment, and those are the things, and those who are sitting in the next seat. We don't need to do anything special. We just need to be ourselves and be kind to others. The other part that really resonates with me is when they sing, where you only see your weaknesses, I only see your strength. And it isn't that the way is, it isn't that way. He says, I only see your strength. And sometimes we fail to see the good things that we do. We think we aren't good enough. Once I was fired from a job. Afterwards, it's like months later, I was talking to a psychiatrist friend of mine about it. And he was telling me that he saw many people in his practice that would come to him after such an event. And he said to me that usually they were extremely hardworking And they were really dedicated, conscientious people. And he could never figure out why they were fired. But Bodhisattva, never disparaging, always sees the strength in people. And it seems to me that maybe cultivating the practice of only seeing other people's strength might be a worthy action to take to help others. So finally, Bodhisattva, never disparaging, was getting ready to die. But he heard the Lotus Sutra being taught up in the sky. And he was immediately youthified. He was, I don't know if that's a word, he was a youth again. And he lived for another 200 million billion years. I don't know how long that is. And he became a Buddha and met lots of other Buddhas and preached the Lotus Sutra. To me, and I could be wrong about this, so don't take my word for it, but I think that's kind of how it is with Buddha. He's alive because we remember what he taught us. It's Chris's job to remind us. So Buddha is still alive in us. Okay, I have some points here to say. So now, I want to read you another story. I must admit that I really have enjoyed reading these stories. There's two of them. The last one that I read was I See You, Mara. And so today, I'm going to read you the story, I See You, Buddha. And they're both written by the same person, Josh Bartek. And I really enjoy these, even though they're kids' stories, because sometimes this is the only level that I can understand in. It's the feeling level. Sometimes the Lotus Sutra seems too big, or too complicated, or too foreign. So I hope you enjoy this story. I actually think that these books are not only for kids, but that adults can relate to. So don't worry about the words. I'm going to read them to you. And I have them on my computer here. Go back. Let's see. I always have problems with this.
It looks okay.
Did it.
It's good.
It's actually 2 pages before this.
Oh, I see.
It starts. Eventually, so let me try something else here. Maybe I'll just stop sharing for a minute, and I'm going to try something. Let me see if I can use this one. Still put me back where I don't want to be. Okay. Here we are. Got it. Okay. So it's Josh Bartek, story in playful rhyme inspired by the Buddhist sutras. And I want to read one piece out of this book. It's what the author talks about, where it came from. I See You, Buddha is based on a chapter in the Lotus Sutra. one of the most influential Buddhist texts worldwide, a classical scripture that has inspired a whole genre of works, especially in Japan, known as Lotus literature. The Lotus Sutra teaches the way of the Bodhisattva, being engaged in compassionate, enlightened activity in the service of all by offering examples of what this activity might look like in the world. One such model in the text is Bodhisattva Never Disrespectful, who, despite troubling encounters with others, bows down respectfully to everyone, recognizing their Buddha nature and honoring their own journey along the Bodhisattva path to enlightenment, whether they know they're future Buddhas or not. So, once there was a person just like you, just like me, a good-hearted person who loved all they could see. This person was kind, and the kind see what's bright. The kind one bathes others in warm, loving light. The kind one bows deep to each creature and thing. Bowing deeply shows care and makes tender hearts sing. What's bowing, you say? What a good place to start. Bowing takes many shapes and is done with the heart. We can bow with a smile or bow with kind words. We can bow palm to palm or bow down to birds. Bowing says welcome, and bowing says yes. Bowing says thank you for this big awful mess. We can bow to hard work and bow with our sighs. We can bow even to sickness or when we lose the big prize. Whomever we meet, we can greet with a bow. And we can always do this, including right now. I have to move this, because I can't read it. I see you, Buddha. We can bow deep and say, you too are Buddha. You too are okay. I know you're trying. You're well on your way. I see your goodness. Then poof, today's a good day. Some people get angry or are down on their luck. Hold on for a second. Some people get lonely and some people get stuck. Technical difficulties.
Got stuck. No.
Like right now. Oh God, I think it'll make it feel better.
Instant lesson.
What's that?
Instant lesson.
You can open the book.
I will open the book.
And stop
Open
the
the
screen share so that they can see.
Yeah, we have to stop the green share. Screen share. You,
I
oh,
know,
you
I
have
know.
to stop it. I didn't start it, so I can't stop
Where
it.
does it get where it
I
goes?
think I could try.
The stuck part.
Okay,
Okay, and stop the screen share.
I'll stop the screen share. It doesn't want to function anyway.
Oh, yeah.
There. And you can
Okay.
show that.
I'll show you the pictures as we go.
This, there we are.
Okay.
That.
I see you, Buddha. We can bow deep and say, you too are Buddha. You too are okay.
Hmm.
Oh, you can all see it. Oh, great. I can show it this way.
Still though, if you can.
Okay, I'll keep still. I know you're trying. You're well on your way. I see your goodness. Then poof, it's a good day.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Good job.
it tries to focus.
And what about you? Do you feel not enough? Do you sometimes get scared when the going gets tough? When painful things happen, what can you say? I see you, Buddha. That's always the way. You too are Buddha. You too are okay. And whenever we do this, then poof, today's a good day. Sitting in the lap of Buddha. I think we can all relate to some of the scenes in this book. I think the kind one is Bodhisattva never disparaging. And the title means that he is seeing Buddha in everyone and every being that he sees. I especially enjoyed the part, bowing says, thank you for this big awful mess. And that there are so many ways to bow. As I read this story, I was reminded of my brother, who died several years ago. I remember when I was young, I was a young adult, my family was not so good about talking about feelings and when unexpected things came up. My brother had been treated pretty bad by my family at times, but he was really a very soft-hearted guy and was working on becoming a social worker. One day my parents were sort of up in arms toward each other about some situation, I don't remember. My brother was sitting in the kitchen and my mother was trying to engage him in the argument. I was like hyperventilating at the time because I was afraid of what might happen. But then I saw my brother look directly into my mother's face and smile. And he said in full sincerity, Mom, I really can understand how you feel about this situation, and I respect what you're saying. And you know what? I love you. Can I give you a hug? My mother was completely disarmed at that point. And I was gobsmacked because neither he nor any of my family had ever said anything like that. But I think my brother had learned something about staying in the present and putting his finger on what really mattered, that we really did love each other. There was also some other feelings that came up as I read this book. The rub for me was when the kind one talked about saying thank you to hard things like illness, losing something or someone you cherish, and the myriad situations in the world which we frankly do not have any control over and seem to flare up at random. Saying thank you, I think, takes a great deal of effort and courage, even for adults. When it is these hard things that we must say yes to me, it doesn't always make it a good day. But I have to hand it to Bodhisattva Never Disparaging. Even when people treated him badly, he remained steadfast in his belief that everyone he met was a Buddha trying to be a Buddha. There is something that he knew, and what we can know in these situations that help us stay on the path. And I was reading from Suzuki Roshi, the Not Always So book, and I just want to read something about that I think that he addresses. And he's talking about zazen, sitting zazen, but I think he's also talking about zazen body. So in our practice, we rely on something great and sit in that great space. The pain that you might have in your legs or some other difficulty that is happening in that great space. As long as you do not lose the feeling that you are in the realm of Buddha nature, you can sit even though you have some difficulty. When you want to escape from your difficulty, or when you try to improve your practice, you create another problem for yourself. But if you just exist there, then you have a chance to appreciate your surroundings, and you can accept yourself completely without changing anything. That is our practice. To exist in big mind is an act of faith, which is different from the usual faith of believing in a particular idea or being. It is to believe that something is supporting us and supporting all our activities, including thinking mind and emotional feelings. All these feelings are supported by something big that has no form or color. It is impossible to know what it is, but something exists there, something that is neither material nor spiritual. Something like that always exists, and we exist in that space. That is the feeling of pure being. So can we hold on to zazen body in our daily lives, and even when it is difficult? Maybe he was also talking about the ultimate dimension. Can we remain in that great space that he speaks of? So, what is Bodhisattva Never Disparaging's action that is a model for us? We know that it is not something tangible, but it is something that is present and mirrored in the people around us. We know that we can exist in any interaction that we have, and it can take place in situations that are difficult to navigate and to understand. And we know that it's nothing special, and any small gesture helps us to bring good into a situation. So finally, this is the holiday season. And I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes the holidays can be sort of dodgy. Dodgy. So what I'd like you to do is to break into small groups and consider these questions or anything else that you'd like to talk about. But the two questions